Well, we do have a lot of it's the world of hacking. It's crazy. I think the world of physical games we've talked about a couple times, right, Mike? And
Yes. Yeah.
and
So
Ubisoft made some announcements. I think we talk about
yeah, I'm gonna read this title and then I'm gonna describe a meme that I saw that was actually hilarious.
it.
Did you send it to me? You might have sent it to me.
Maybe.
But here it is. It's this article's coming from Kotaku by the writer John Walker, and it is titled "Ubisoft wants you to be comfortable in not owning your games." The latest rebranding of subscription services Ubisoft Plus. I'm gonna call it U Plus. It's gonna be easier.
Plus,
U
I like it.
Plus accompanies the release of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which has been apparently it got like review bombed and it was really bad, and then now it's finally out, so people are excited. I saw
Yeah,
some people playing it and they looked like they were actually having fun.
yeah,
So
yeah. I heard mixed things. Yeah.
the meme I saw was genius. So it was one of the guys from The Office, the American show, and I can't remember his name for some stupid reason. It's been a while since I watched The Office, but basically the character is pointing at the top, and it's like it's in an office setting, obviously, and he has like a piece of paper that he's essentially going to write on, but you can like fold it up. What's it called? Like it's like a
Oh, like
presentation
yeah,
board, but like sheet
yeah,
of paper.
yeah.
So he's like, it's
Giant
a
canvas.
drawing. Yeah, it's a drawing, and it says like, if you don't own the game, and it peel it over, it's not piracy if you steal it. It's like it's just like that's true. If you don't own it, it's not piracy.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah. So silly. So let's go ahead and get into the article by on Kotaku. So with the pre-release of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown started, Ubisoft has chosen this week to rebrand to U Plus subscription services and introduce a PC version of the Classics tier at a lower price. And a big part of this, says the publisher's director of subscriptions, Philippe Tremblay, hopefully, is getting players comfortable, in quotes, with not owning their games. It's hard to keep up with how often Ubisoft has rebranded its online portals for its games, with Uplay, Ubisoft Game Launcher, Ubisoft Connect, Uplay Plus, Uplay Passport, Ubisoft Club, and now Ubisoft Plus Premium and Ubisoft Plus Classics. All the names used over the last decade or so. It's also seemed faintly bewildering why there's a demand for any of them, given Ubisoft released only 5 non-mobile games last year, because everything got postponed indefinitely.
Crazy. You know what's
Yeah.
wild? They have all those names and stuff. But what we got? Xbox Game Pass. We have I don't know what else, like Steam. Like
Oh, dude.
it's like very
Oh,
simple conventions that are stuck to. And
oh, you got Xbox Game Pass, like the Ultimate Game Pass, like the Xbox app, which thank God they got rid of the companion app. The Xbox companion, oh, that was terrible. Um, the other one they had was there's also Epic Games, there's Steam, there's also, let me see if I can actually just search launcher. Rockstar Games launcher. There's the Slippy launcher if you play Animele. Uh, there's yeah, Epic Games. What's the other one? Ubisoft has like 3 that I've had. Um, and there's one more. Oh yeah, EA Games. And there's stupid stuff that they have. They have like 2
yeah,
different ones. Like one
gameplay.
works, one doesn't, and it's
Yeah.
I hate it.
And
I
I
hate it.
said about Microsoft, but they did actually change like their naming a little bit with their tiers recently. So it's like Xbox,
Yeah.
Game Pass Core, PC Core. Like I don't know, it is a little weird, I guess, in that regard, but maybe not the best
Just
example. But Ubisoft's out here.
yeah. So let's continue on. However, a demand there apparently is, says Tremblay in a interview with GI Biz. He claims the company's subscription service had its biggest ever month, October 2023, and that the service has had millions of subscribers and over 1 billion hours played. Of course, a lot of this would be a result of Ubisoft's various moments of refusing to release games to Steam, forcing PC players to use its services, and likely opting for a month's subscription rather than the full price of the game they were looking to buy. But still, clearly people are opting to use it. But it remains strange why enough would want to subscribe. And at $18 a month, it's not cheap to a single publisher's output, which is, I didn't even know it was that much. That's crazy. That's not a diss of Ubisoft games, although you might want to apply your own. I like this article. He's
Yeah.
spicy. Something that we would be as true were to Activision, Blizzard, or EA Games. That's the other one, Battle.net.
That on
Forgot about
it.
that
Yep.
launcher. Yeah, annoying. You can subscribe to Game Pass or PlayStation Plus and get a broad range of hundreds of games from dozens of publishers, or you can pay significantly more to only get the games made by one single publisher, and indeed a publisher with a very distinct style of game. TV networks and movie companies tried this, and those numbers are thinning out fast, with many already compromising by returning their show to the larger streamers. Yeah,
Yeah.
no crap. No crap.
It's
This
the
is what
truth,
happens
man.
when you add commodity to everything,
Yeah.
modify everything. How do you take it so far?
I mean, yeah, spitting facts. It's. I mean, we've already hit to that too. I think just the amount of launchers and stuff. It's like it's exhausting. And so, I mean, this thing, like one that always comes to mind for me is the Bethesda launcher. That did not survive, and it was like they wanted to do
No.
like with Fallout 76. That was the big thing. Is like you had to get on Bethesda launcher. Like that was great. And then eventually they were like, oh no, we're killing the launcher because it turns out people don't want another launcher on their computer, and like people
Yeah.
aren't really playing the game. And we're moving it to Steam, so I mean, here's how to transfer your saves and everything because
Yeah.
like we have to kill this. That was another
And
just
Bethesda is
failure.
also a part of Xbox too.
Yeah.
And there are other ones too. Like Luna is one, or Amazon has their own game launcher as well.
Yeah.
And I think that one you even have to do like through the web browser. Dude, this stuff is trash. I think every gamer that's ever had multiple games from different publishers and has to deal with this is upset.
Yeah.
And always has been.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I think I will say the coolest game launcher was probably the GOG launcher. It was like Galaxy Games, whatever. I forget what the acronym is, but that launcher was cool. I don't know if it's like this anymore, but I remember years ago was you could essentially load different libraries into just one launcher and then just see everything there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But yeah,
It's silly. So, let's continue a little bit further. So, what's more chilling about all this, however, is when Tremblay moves on to how Ubisoft wishes to see a consumer shift, similar to that of the market for CDs and DVDs, where people have moved over to Spotify and Netflix instead of buying physical media to keep on their own shelves. Given that most people, while being a part of the problem, also think of this as a problem, it's so weird to see it phased as if some faulty thinking in the company's audience. Dude, before I even get into this next little section that obviously Tremblay has actually said, this is ridiculous because on Spotify, it's people are accepting of not owning the physical copies because it's a subscription service, but also similar to a radio station. That's
yeah,
why TuneIn has been in existence for like ever, and SiriusXM. It's like, yeah, you're paying for the service, but you're paying to listen to certain things. This is just on demand, and people are okay with that. Same thing with like YouTube Premium.
yeah,
You don't own the videos, but you're watching it. It's fine.
yeah.
You don't have to deal with ads.
Right. Yeah.
That's why it's there. Same thing with Netflix. That's no difference than cable. Video games, like, what's he trying to do? Just imagine a Blockbuster just completely empty, and it's just digital codes. From like the 90s.
Yeah.
That doesn't
It's
work.
yeah, it wouldn't work. I don't know. I think too when I get more into like looking at like retro games and stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
just that physical media, and I know you've talked about it too. Just having that physical
Oh.
copy is like so. There's just something special about that, and so it just sucks that we're losing that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think the ultimate problem with the physical copies of games outside of Nintendo, it seems like they're all requiring you to be connected to the internet regardless of
right. Yeah.
what you have set up. Like if you're trying to play any Xbox game in the modern era and you want to play with your friends, you have to have internet to play with your friends in the same room. Like you
Yeah.
can't just connect two Xboxes together. You have to be connected to a server. That server is a piece of crap that's been outdated for the last like 8 years. It only gets worse every day. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, what the hell? Let me have my own server. Or like let me just work locally. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely can. I mean, yeah, man. There's something that really sucks about that. And it's just kind of I think it is kind of the new reality for a lot of this is just kind of we're going away from physical media. I mean, and to a certain extent, I can get it. I mean, because even like the new like I keep coming back to it, but that new Final Fantasy that's coming out on PS5 and it's multi-disc, it is insane to me. Like that's got to be a
Yeah.
huge game. It's like even, and it goes back to other articles I've seen recently about like devs like the reason for like a lot of I think a lot of studios now maybe like that struggle. It's like they work for years on a game because it takes that long and a ton of resources to make a fully complete title now. And it's like if that
Yeah,
doesn't do well, it's like, well, you're just kind of like screwed unless you have like
that's a good
some
point.
other kind of way to make money. So it's just it's kind of the reality of it. And so you make these giant games, and games are only getting bigger. It feels like so it's like
That's
it just
true.
gets
Yeah,
harder to print to physical media because I don't think physical media is like able to, at least from what I can see, is like kind of able to keep up with the demand that it's needed.
you're
Um,
basically gonna have to start getting like M.2 drives
yeah,
coming
just
with
like
your
baby
game.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, something
baby
like that.
ones.
It's yeah, it's crazy. I will say it's cool, like, but like just like the games I have like on my shelf back here, it's just cool to like go back there, just like open up the game, and be like, oh yeah, I still own this. Like it's like
Oh yeah,
no one can
like
take that from me.
that's the thing. Having the old consoles, having the old games, like I have an original Xbox at my feet, literally on the ground,
Yeah,
and it's like it's so nice for me to just go over here, grab any of the games that I have, or the ones that I have on the hard drive, and just load it up, no issues.
yeah,
And you can't really do that anymore. It's very
yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah,
The only, like I said, the only place you can really do that is like Nintendo.
yeah, yeah. And like I'm sure we talked about it before, and I hear about it all the time. But like I think it's more and more becoming more and more prevalent each year of like trying to like bolster game preservation, especially for like older generations too. It's
It
like
is,
we
yeah,
hear about all the game stores, like Xbox 360, I think shutting down kind of their main store,
yeah,
and it's like there's a lot of digital only games that were there, and it's like there's people that
yeah. They're
there's luckily people that have they have like a lot of those games, and I'm sure there's kind of a way to still find a way to share that. But I mean, it's like a
there
lot of that
is.
stuff you don't own it. It's like it kind of sucks because like a lot of the media could just be lost, and there's a lot of great games out there that weren't on disc, and um yeah. So that's why I'm such a like proponent of emulation, and why I have like loved just to get into it more, because it's like it's the only way that we're gonna be able to play a lot of these games at a certain point. I feel like so it's
Yeah,
important to kind of understand it and try and get involved and relive some of your history.
yeah, I think you're 100% correct. There's really not much too much, like, there's not much more to add on. It's just, it's really unfortunate. I think the younger generations of gamers that have never had to deal with that before, they've like, there's been a whole new generation of gamers coming up that never owned a physical copy in their
Yeah,
life.
it's true. Yeah,
Just downloading it online, buying online. It's like they think they own it on the hard drive, but it's like the moment those servers get like turned off or taken down, it's over. It's like it ain't gonna work.
yeah,
It's like, what
no,
do you do then?
the game is just not gonna work. It's like, yeah, man, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's I know the especially like the older I'm getting, the more it's like, oh, this is this could become a problem. So it's just like
Oh, it's a
it'll
hundred
be
percent an issue. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see kind of how things evolve and in the future, because it'd be I don't know, it'd be cool to actually own the titles.
yeah. It's it is what it is. But I think what we'll finish with on this article is what Tremblay ended up saying, and it's just a quote taken directly from the interview at GI Biz. So one of the things we saw is that gamers are used to, a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen. They got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at any time, at another time, your progress file is still there. There's not been That's not been deleted. You don't lose what you built in the game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game. It's like, so you want us to continually pay a subscription in perpetuity, and the moment you stop paying the subscription, you lose access to the game. It's kind of
Yeah,
like holding joy hostage
yeah,
in a
it's
way.
true. I mean, and I will say, like, and this is no dock at like Game Pass or anything like that, because I think they're great services, and I think the fact that you can instantly, for a small fee each month, have access to a library that you can share with the other people that have a subscription. So like you all
Yes. Yeah.
instantly have a lot of games you could probably play together, and and there's certainly a lot of fun to be had there. So it's not necessarily discounting those services, but yeah, especially for like kind of newer AAA titles. Um,
Yep.
it's nice to just be able to have a copy of that and just know that you have it forever, right? So hopefully, we could, get to a model at some point that'll work for that. That'll help like preserve that, because yeah, it's it's certainly something that's concerning, especially as we see a bunch of services shut down across older consoles and everything. So
Yeah. I think the main issue with the subscription. Well, I think the one proponent to have subscription services is what you said, but also the access to have your game anywhere remotely while the servers are on.
Yeah.
So like Game Pass is great because it's perfect for people that want to test out a game for the first time.
Yeah.
You just want to give
Definitely.
like a trial run. That is fantastic. You can also check out all the new indie devs because they have a great indie program for people to come in there and like unleash new games. And it's
Yeah.
like normally you wouldn't buy an indie game, but if
Right.
it's included in the Game Pass, it's like that gives them an opportunity to make some money.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's like new experiences as well.
Yeah.
Just the absolute convenience of having it on all my consoles and then load up on any device from wherever I am. It's
I mean,
fantastic,
yeah, it's
and I love it.
unbeatable. And
Yeah,
and
it
that's
really
certainly,
is.
yeah, and that's certainly another aspect of that. But yeah, I mean, and there's I've heard interviews from like developers and stuff all the time that say like just the ability to have their game in front of hundreds of thousands of millions of people like at an instant, and then
Yeah,
having in front of all those eyes is like something that has never been the case until now. So
great.
yeah.
Yeah, crazy value right there.
Yeah. And they, if it's success, like, hey, they get paid a lot of money and they continue making games. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. All right, so